Are you ready? Tell me you're ready.
Sarnia City Council met for the first time in 2017, just this past Monday. Of course, lots talked about, but two of the major highlights, one being school crossing guards and the cutbacks that were imposed on school crossing guards. But the major discussion that happened was in regards to Baxter Park. Of course, Baxter Park being where the former Kinsman Center was located and is currently being demolished. Several residents on Lakeshore and surrounding area got up to speak about what was happening with Baxter Park, and took up about 2 hours of the meeting in all. So lots of details about that. If you want to find out more about those details, you can watch a replay of the live stream that we had broadcast on our website at TVSN.ca. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are moving on into episode number 272. Let's get out to the entertainment scene. A return to the Imperial Theatre. And you might normally see this guy at a Sting game with me, but he's quite an actor and director as well. Jay Peckham is here to talk to me about Willow Quartet coming to the Imperial Theatre. Let's get out to the entertainment scene and talk with Jay Peckham.
The entertainment scene is brought to you by Body Moves. Visit them online at bodymoves.ca. It's time to return to the Imperial Theatre, and we're kind of behind the scenes here right now. There's a bit of a set being built for the next performance, which is Willow Quartet. And this guy's out of costume because you're not wearing a Sarnia Sting jersey.
I know, right? I feel a little out of my element now.
Let's talk about Willow Quartet coming to the Imperial Theatre.
Okay, let's talk about it. Willow Quartet, wonderful play. It's a drama. It was written actually by a woman named Joan Burrows, who's a member of the Curtain Club in Burlington.
Yeah, no relation.
No. And I've met her, a very nice woman. And anyway, it's a brilliant drama, and it's essentially about a husband and wife who's separated because of some sort of a tragedy, and you find out a little bit later on what the tragedy was about. But they sort of go their separate ways to try and deal with the issues. And while the husband moves into the city and finds a love interest, the wife moves back to the family farm, and she's arrived here in order to kind of make sense of it. And while she's here with the big house, she decides the local town is having an arts festival, and she billets the first violinist. And of course, that becomes very interesting. Yes, because this is the kind of town that would actually have not just a symphony musician coming for their arts festival, but a tractor parade as well.
Oh, okay.
So this is, kind of typical rural Ontario kind of thing, right? And which is awesome. So at the same time the violinist is billeting here, her husband comes back to try and get the family tractor ready for the same arts festival.
That won't cause any problems.
So I mean, anyway, it's a wonderful relationship piece, and lots of character-driven stuff, and it's amazing. My cast is outstanding. I can't say enough about Carissa Teskey and Jeff Winter, Liz Walton, and Richard Teskey. These guys have really come together to make such a rich... This is the kind of theater that shows off what an actor can really do.
Right. Well, and interesting you say that, because I think it's important to let everybody know this is the entry for the Western Ontario Drama League, which was won last year by Clean House.
The Clean House, and interesting enough, I was in that. But Theatre Sarnia, I mean, we're doing such amazing stuff in the last little while, and truthfully, we're going to WODL with this entry as well, and we've won quite a few in the last little bit.
I always like to tell people they don't have to travel to Toronto to appreciate amazing theater. That's what we have right here in Sarnia.
100%, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on this and putting it into the WODL.
Yeah.
And tell everybody, when does it start? How do they get tickets?
We open January 27th, which is a Friday night, and we do a Friday, Saturday, and then a Sunday matinee show. We're off the Monday, Tuesday. We're back at it Wednesday through Saturday, and we close on the 4th of February.
Wonderful. Looking forward to it. And
absolutely.
Jay is the director, by the way.
And I'm directing. Yes. Let's not forget that.
Perfect. Well, looking forward to see it, Jay.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you at the next Sting game, by the way.
For sure.
We're going to take it back into the studio now. I'll tell you how to get those tickets. Willow Quartet coming to the Imperial Theatre.
It's never boring talking with Jay Peckham. Jay, thank you so much for your time. We were actually at the rehearsal stage as they rehearse and prepare the set for Willow Quartet coming to the Imperial Theatre. It begins on January the 27th. You can go to imperialtheatre.net to get your tickets for that. It was actually 33 Variations that won the WODL last year on behalf of Theatre Sarnia, and Clean House the year before that. So Theatre Sarnia, no stranger to doing great things, and we wish them all the best once again on Willow Quartet and at the WODL once again this year. Thank you, Jay, and we're looking forward to seeing the performance. All right, well, you've heard of Cinderella and the glass slipper, but what about grade 8 graduation and prom dress? It's a Cinderella story right here in Sarnia. Debbie Anderson is going to talk to us exactly about what the Cinderella story is here. Let's go out into the community and talk with Debbie Anderson.
This community segment is brought to you by AG Event Graphics. Visit them online at askguy.ca. Well, out in the community this week, you've heard of the Cinderella story, but we're going to talk about a different Cinderella story. What about prom and grade 8 graduation? This lady right here is Debbie Cinderella Anderson. We're going to call you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. The Cinderella story for you began back in 2009. It's in its 8th year.
Yes.
And just tell us quickly how this got started and why you're doing this now.
A friend of a friend needed a dress. It wasn't in the budget for the family, so we stepped in and we located a dress and a hairstylist, and she was able to go to prom. And I figured if there's one who needs assistance, there's a lot more.
Yeah.
Who can
And as it turns out, there is a lot of people in that position that maybe they're afraid to ask mom or dad because they're having hard times, or they're just not sure where to get the help for that. And it really is an important time in a young lady's life.
Oh, very much. It's more than a dress. It's self-confidence, self-esteem. It's graduating with your peers and being part of the fun.
Yeah. Well, I look behind us here, and you've gone from a couple of dresses to, you said, about 1,200.
We have about 1,200 right now. Yes. And our dress drive is coming up in February. We usually get a couple hundred at that as well. So.
Right. Okay. So when's that happening? Where? And what do people got to do to come to that?
So the dress drive is February 13th to 24th. And they can drop off at Rebound, Libro Credit Union, and Edwin Petroleum at the Oil Heritage District Community Center.
That's perfect. Let's mention Libro for a minute. I know when this all began, you reached out to them and they came right on board.
Libro was the very first supporter, and they've been there the whole time. They collect dresses for us. And, sometimes people even go outside the drop-off dates and just drop a dress off because they've done it for so long, and they'll stick it in the back room for me. So they've been very kind.
That's great. Now, I think it's important to note, too, you've said you've got about 42 volunteers. Everybody's volunteer, but there's got to be some expense involved, and you've been getting some help. I think you mentioned Race to a Race helped out with that. Yes,
yeah, we're one of the organizations that benefits from Race to a Race every year. It's great. We always have 1 or 2 teams in there ourselves, and it's that helps us immensely.
That's fantastic. Is there a website that people can go, or how do they get in touch for all this?
Yes, it's www.cinderellasarnia.org, and our information is there, our registration is there, volunteer applications if anyone's interested. You have to be 19 and out of school.
Okay.
And they can find it all online and send me an email or a phone call.
Perfect. Debbie Anderson, thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
again for having me.
You're welcome. The Cinderella story. Maybe you need some help. Maybe you know someone who does need some help. Let's go back to the studio and give you that website so you can find out all the information.
Nothing better than a fairy tale coming true. The Cinderella story. Thank you, Debbie Anderson, for sharing that information. And if you're watching this and you know somebody who could maybe use a little extra help with that grade 8 or prom dress this year, be sure to share the Cinderella story with them and make it a memorable time in their life for them. Thanks again, Debbie Anderson, and all the best of continued success. Once again, the Cinderella story. All right, well, big news is coming if you haven't already heard about it. Ribfest 2017. The Video Show Network has partnered up once again with Northern Heat Rib Series, bringing back Ribfest 2017 to Hiawatha Horse Park. In fact, it was such a big, huge success last year. An additional day has been added. It will take place again at Hiawatha Horse Park September 1st to the 4th. Of course, there'll be lots of great local entertainment and, of course, the delicious food and local vendors. And there's a few more surprises that are going to be announced as we go along. It might seem like a long ways away, but mark it on your calendar, save the date, whatever you do. Ribfest 2017 returning to Hiawatha September the 1st to the 4th. And as the media partner with Northern Heat Rib Series and bringing back Ribfest 2017, we're going to have lots of prizes and giveaways going on as well. What is also important about this Ribfest event is that last year, at the very last minute, other local partners joined us and we raised just over $9,000 to share with 3 local charities. Sarnia Lambton Rebound, St. Clair Child and Youth, and the Inn of the Good Shepherd all shared in the $9,000 monies. So we're doing that again this year, giving back to those same 3 charities, and our goal is to hit $12,000. Be sure to keep watching my show every week and follow along on the Video Show Network for all the details about what's going to be happening with Ribfest 2017, once again, September 1st to 4th at Hiawatha Horse Park. That's all the time we got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.